Hello, hello. Who's hanging with me tonight? I see 3. 1, 2, 3. Who's here? Hi, Angela. Hi, Donna. So, I believe it was last week. I don't know. Let me tell you, my weeks have been running together like crazy lately. So, hi, Rinska. I believe it was last week. Could have been the week before. Not sure. But we colored these 4 images from Elfin around. We colored them a little different than the package. So here's this little gal that we colored. And then we colored this one. And then we also colored this one and this one. So tonight, I was thinking we would put together some cards. And instead of doing the standard basic card we always do, I use the dies to cut them out. I decided that we would try something different. It's not something that I've ever done before. You guys know I always roll like that. Don't know how to do it, but I'm going to try. A friend of mine sent me a card, and I thought it was super cool. Hi, Rosemarie. I thought it was super duper cool. So I sort of broke it down and figured it out so that I could show you guys how to make it, because it was super duper cool. So do you want to see it before we start? I'll show you. I can show you my friend's card if I can find it. I did have it right here. I swear I did. Here it is. Okay, so my friend Sandy, yes, we have the same name, Sandy McFarland. She made this card in a class that she did. Like, it opens up like this. It's kind of super cool, I thought. And she mailed it to me, and I thought, oh, that's really neat. I bet I could make that. So, when you cut up the paper, you get 2 out of each one each time that you do it. So let me tell you how I did it. How did you know it would be her card? Because she's awesome. Because I saw her this weekend and I was thinking about her, and clearly I did not throw away her card from last year. I held on to it because I thought it was super cool and I thought we could figure it out. So basically what I did, so I've already cut some of the papers, but I'll tell you what I cut them to in case you want to know, for your own benefit. And then some of them I did not cut so that we could do it live. But this one I did. So this is an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. It's not perfectly cut, but it's the best I could do when I did. Okay, and so what I did, it's 8.5 by 11, and I scored it at 4 1/4 and 5 1/2. So just like you would normally, you would score it, and then, or you would score it this way, and then you would cut it this way, and then you would have 2 cards. But instead of doing that, we scored it on both of them, and then I cut it diagonally like this. So it still gets you 2 cards. They're just a little bit different at how they're going to lay out. So if I take this one and I fold on the score line, so it should even out on the edges. And I usually use my espresso here to burnish the edges. So there's one, and then the other one folds over this way. They're just a teensy bit off, but I think it's going to be fine. Like I said, it's my first one, so as long as it's close, we are good. So that's kind of the same idea that she started out with. Then I chose my papers that I wanted to use. My design papers. I chose them. And I chose these two. Hi, Jen and Lori. I chose these two papers. So one of them says Merry Christmas on it, and it has gingerbread on the back. I'm not going to use the gingerbread. This is, of course, doodlebug paper, because you guys know I have like an obsession with doodlebug paper. And this one, a little hard to see on camera, but it looks like little trees, like little Christmas trees, but they're real faint. And then on this side is Santa and the reindeer in the house. And we're going to use this side because I want that green to match this girl, and the red background matches this girl. So we're going to put these two girls on it, and that's why I chose this paper. Okay, so what we have to do is this paper right here is 5 1/4 by 4, and it's two of them at 5 1/4 by 4. Hi, Michelle. So each time I cut these papers, it's going to give me 2. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this paper and I'm going to lay it on my trimmer here so that I can cut it from corner to corner. So once you get the measurements down, they're pretty good. Well, we want to make sure we cut it corner to corner and that I don't mess it up. Hopefully I won't mess it up. But we'll see. I'm pretty tired tonight, so no guarantees. Woohoo! Perfect. Okay. So now we have two of these papers. So we could flip-flop them if we really wanted to. But I'm going to stick with that. Going to do the same thing with this one. I'm just going to lay it on here. Looks like I need a new thing. And then I'm going to cut it edge to edge as well. So they kind of lay on top of each other like this. So 2 cut. There we go. So we have the extra card and the extra paper, so we can save that for something else. And then we have this one that we started, and we have these 2 papers to go on it. So that's what we have so far. So I like to cut all my stuff first and then go from there. And since I knew I was going to be making 2, I cut this super cool glitter shimmer paper I have in 3 1/2 by 4 1/2. So 3 1/2 this way, 4 1/2 this way. And I cut 2 of them so I'd have an extra one. I only need 1 for this project. And then I cut these 2. The show went great. The show was great. We had super good time. 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. Jamie flew home today. She's home now, but I'm sure she's exhausted because I took her to the airport at like 10:30 this morning. She had a long layover. Okay, so these are the pieces that we need, on top of the fact that we also need an inside for the card as well. And I have a bunch of leftover scraps from when I cut this paper up that I thought we maybe could decorate the inside of the card as well with some of the papers. I don't like the way that paper's cut. Hold on. Sometimes these ones I cut, I didn't do so good. Ah, better. Okay, so that one's much better. So we have that one. And then we'll throw one over there in the extra set. So I'll have a pre-made card already ready. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start putting this together. But I want to grab the scraps if I can find what I did with them. Ah, there they are. So I have lots of little scraps here that I could put something on the inside if I wanted to as well. So the little trees would fit, or the Merry Christmas, which is kind of cool, or maybe both, who knows. So hello, Christina. So I think what I'm going to do probably is put these two together, leaving one of the trees showing, and then put them at the bottom of the inside, because what you're going to see is none of that. But I think it'd be neat to go ahead and use that excess paper so it doesn't go to waste. I don't want it to go to waste. I'm going to flatten out the cardstock because that was the top where you pull it out. You made it live while it's live, right? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put this one down with my Barely Art glue. Hello from Utah. Okay, I'm going to use my tweezers because this makes life so much easier for me. I get to see you in a week, Christina. It's going to be nice. I always flip it over when I rub the espresso on it, because the Barely Art glue gives you just a little bit of time to move around. And so sometimes if you do it from the front, it kind of messes it up. So it moves it around, and then you got to be really fast to get it back where you want it. So that's the reason I flipped it over. So now I'm going to take this Merry Christmas one. I'm pretty sure Jamie will not join us tonight. She was super tired. I would be too if I had been traveling all day. I mean, I'm tired, but not as tired as her, I'm sure. So I'm just kind of lining that up. I want to leave one little row of Christmas trees at the bottom. I know you can't really see that all that well right now, but on the camera, but it really is just one row of the Christmas trees. So now I'm going to flip it over again, burnish the back. Okay, so that gives me the inside of my card. I think I missed a spot with some glue, so I'm just going to reach in here and glue this on. I am going to do it from the back, just in case it oozes out. It dries clear, so it's fine, but I want it to be on my table. Hi, Sheila. Hi, Adele. So this is where this one is going to go. It's going to go on the inside here. I'm not going to glue it in just yet, but that's where it's going to go. It's going to be the inside of the card. So the outside of the card is going to go like this. So you're going to have Merry Christmas at the top and upside down Christmas trees. That didn't work out so well for me, did it? I think I got the wrong sheets together. Hold on. There we go. There we go. So on the other one, I'll probably put the trees up at the top and the Merry Christmas at the bottom so that it all works out the way I need it to. So this one's going to go up here. This one's going to go down here. So I can actually glue down this one on here. So I'm going to actually open it up because I think it's a little bit easier to do it while it's open. But I can't glue the top one just yet. because there's a magnet underneath it, and that's what's holding the whole card together. So I wish I could tell you where to get the magnets. I mean, I'm pretty sure that you can get them Amazon or Walmart or something like that. I don't know. I don't remember where I got mine. I've had them for a very long time. And I only have 2 left. So I can't make 4 cards tonight. I can only make 2. So that's why I didn't put each Amazon for sure. And that's why I didn't put each image on a card. I was going to do them individually. Hi, Kim. The sound comes and goes. Am I pushing the button? Hold on. Sometimes I close my or sometimes I put the where the camera's held. Sometimes it's held over the sound. I try not to do that, but every now and then I do. Let me know if that gets better, because I tried to move the phone to make that better. But my little magnets look like this. They came in a little set, and they tell you which one's positive, which one's negative. Like now. Huh. I don't know why it's acting up like that. I hope it stops. I'll speak a little louder. Maybe that'll help. Am I
freezing up? I mean, our video's not freezing.
My video that I can see on the TV is not freezing up at all. So I don't know what's happening on that end, but this, so now I have this on here like that. And I want to put this one up here, but I'm going to have to put the magnet, this magnet, underneath it. Okay, good. I'm glad. Not freezing for you. Yay! So maybe there's an internet issue on the other side, on her side. Okay. So let me explain how the rest of this is going to go before we attach this. So I think what I'm going to do is attach just this side, and then I'm going to leave the top part open, so I'll be able to still adjust the magnet when necessary, but at least I'll get this on there a little bit for now. So I'm just going to lay this across here, kind of line it up. That way I'll know for sure it's all lined up when I get ready to put my magnet in there. And like I said, I've never done this before, and I just got the idea from my friend Sandy McFarland. She sent me a Christmas card like this, and I just kind of checked it out, broke it down, and figured out how I wanted to do it so that I could show it to you guys. Just want to make sure that lays really flat. Okay, so I left this open for now. And then these other pieces that I cut, they're going to layer on top of each other like this. But I'm going to do them with pop dots because they also need to line up in the corners. I think I might scoot it down a little bit just so you can see the Merry Christmas across the top. So they're going to layer on top of each other. So one magnet is going to need to go in this corner, and the other magnet's going to need to go underneath that. So I got to make sure I have a positive and a negative, otherwise they won't stick together. And I have to make sure I know which way. Hi, Melanie. So if you put them together either way, they magnetically stick together. So it doesn't really matter which way we do it. I wasn't sure, so I wanted to double check. What's wrong, honey? Everything okay? Okay, so we're either going to have to use some double-sided sticky tape or some glue dots. So I'm going to use some glue dots to make mine. Is that red paper, a 12 by 12? Yes, it is. 12 by 12 diagonal cut. This is the 12 by 12. No, it's 8.5 by 11. It's 8.5 by 11 diagonal cut. So it's scored at 5.5 and 4 1/4, and then cut right diagonally. So not 12 by 12, 8.5 by 11. And it makes the A2 size card. So I want to make sure that I get these on there correctly. Not really sure how I'm going to do that, but I am going to try to figure it out. We're going to try to figure it out together. I don't know if these are made for you to take this off, but I'm going to take it off so that I can make sure that it doesn't just stick to the paper. It sticks to everything. I'm going to use glue dots. These glue dots that I have. They're from Stampin' Up, and I'm just going to pick up glue dots and put them on the back. I actually need them on both sides, but I need to pay attention to which side is which. I'm going to put 3 so I can make sure that they stick really well. And then I'm going to put some on the other side as well. Or at least I'm assuming that's the way that you would do it. Because again, I've never done this before, but if we trial and error, you guys will know for sure how to do it. So that's why we're playing with it tonight. Woo! Slippery little suckers. Okay, so I got 3 glue dots on each side. We are going to have to do that with the other one as well. I want it to lay right here on the card. Pretty close to exactly where I want it to be. I'm going to need this one to be here, so that when I place this on top, it'll work out perfectly. But I'm going to use these little pops in order to hold it in between, so it'll raise it up a little bit, which will be perfect. So now I'm going to pull this little sticker off of here because I don't think I need it on there. And I'm going to put some little glue dots on there. Just 3 of them like I did before. If I had big glue dots, I'd just be able to do 1, but I don't have any of those, so it is what it is. So I'm just, oops, if I can hold on to them, I'm just going to put 3 of them on there. I lost one. I am going to use it because I don't like wasting them. Might be easier to pick them off like this and put them on here. However you usually do yours at home will work. Hopefully this won't cause any issues with the magnets, but we'll see. Okay, so we already have that one stuck. I'm going to try to lift this paper up now. This is the best way I know how to do it. If you guys know, I mean, basically because I haven't had any time to like figure out any other way to do it. Nope. Get it in the right spot? I'm not sure that worked out quite as well as I wanted it to, so we're going to try that one more time. I want to make sure this doesn't move when I place it under there. Okay, here we go. There we go. Okay, so now I can take this one off. I need that one to be up underneath there. feel pretty confident that's where I need it to be. So I'm just going to rub a little bit to make sure that the magnet sticks where it's supposed to. And now I'm going to just put the Barely Art glue under here so that I can make sure to stick down this whole side as well. So I'm going to use my espresso to press that down. It's a little bumpy. Probably if you use smaller magnets, you'd be okay. Yes. Trying to catch up because I know you guys are so patient with us when we're at shows that I hate to make you wait too long, especially since we had already colored these images and prepped them and got them ready. I wanted to go ahead and do the live tonight. And I didn't think these cards would take too long, so I think we're also going to color this little Rude-olph guy too. Okay, so we have our magnet underneath here. So that's great. I'm super happy about that. And now this inside piece that we cut earlier that we did, I'm going to go ahead and put that inside. Now, if I was going to stamp on it, I would stamp on it before I stuck it in here. But I don't generally stamp on the inside of my cards. Basically because I just write my own sentiment to someone. I don't usually stamp the inside. I'm standing up, so my voice might get louder. So that I can make sure that this is really centered in there. And it is. And now I'm just going to rub that with my espresso. All right, so now we have this card. You're going to see how easy this is to make. This is so great. I love how quick and easy this is going to be. Okay, so we are going to actually put this one on top of this other silver one. So I'm going to go ahead and start putting on these. Normally I put them on the back of this, but because of the magnet, I want to make sure I have it good. Hi, Yvonne. We had a lot of fun at the convention, but we didn't have a lot of help, so it was super duper busy for us. We had Dale on Saturday. We had Haley, my daughter, helped us on Friday. But she could only help during Jamie's class. So, yeah, that was a bit tough. But we made it. We made it. We made it. We had fun at the make and take. I was on my stomping ground, so that was super fun to be in Texas with all the Texas girls and all the girls that I usually used to go to the expo with. They were all there, so it was great to see everybody. They were playing around and I was working, but it was okay. I was okay with that. At least I got to see them. Okay. I don't want to lay this paper on top until I take all these off because we're going to have one shot at it and I want to get it all ready because that one already has glue dots on it. Usually I use these tweezers, but tonight I'm feeling a little anxious about getting this done because I can't wait to see if it works out. Yeah, it was great. I even saw some people that I didn't know were going to be there that I hadn't seen in many years, so that was really nice. Everybody was super nice, of course, because, you know, they're from Texas. And we all super nice here. All right, so that's still a dot. This is just the paper, so I'm going to toss those in my little trash can. Gonna stand up again. Hi, Elizabeth. Elizabeth. I never say your name right. I'm not going to lie. I say your name wrong every single time, and Jamie laughs at me. Every single time. You know how sometimes there's a word or a phrase that you know what it is, but no matter how hard you try, you say it wrong every single time? That's what happens to me with your name. I think I might have to nickname you something else. So if I just said your name wrong, I'm so sorry. Okay, so there we go. Now it's popped up just a little bit. And then we're gonna put these little images we colored on here. I think I might want to put that one up and this one down. I can't decide. And that, yep, this is how I wanted to do it. And I thought the Merry Elfin Christmas would be perfect. And then, of course, I have to have dots. So we got some new ones recently. We got some red and green for the holiday, which I thought was awesome. And we got some sparkly ones too. So I was going to look and see if I wanted to do, I think I want to do the red and green ones. So yeah, these ones are called red and green foil. I think we sold them out at the show, but we have them already reordered. So we should have them very soon. We should have them back in stock very soon. Okay, so now I'm just going to put Barely Art glue on the back of these little gals here. Hi, Debbie. So I'm going to put this one here. Now this is kind of slick paper, so I want to be real careful when I lay it down. I don't want to slide it around, so I'm just going to put my espresso on it and just kind of press down rather than sliding around. Just to make sure I don't move it around. I don't want to move it around. I want it to stay. Oops. Got a little bit of glue outside, but it's okay because it dries clear. So I don't really have to worry about that. I think I missed a teeny bit up underneath this little ball on her hat. So I'm going to go back and fix that. I don't know why. These don't have to be perfect, but aww, I missed you guys too. I mean, we wanted to do live while Jamie was here, but we just get so busy preparing for the show that we run out of time. We want to be ready and we want to do lives with you guys when we're together, but we're trying to run inventory and print off stickers and all kinds of crazy stuff. So we always run out of time. Okay. So now let's do this gal. This time I will try to make sure I have glue on these areas up here. Got a little glue ball on the end of that. And I don't want to put too much. I definitely want to make sure she stays. I thought this card would be so perfect for these little girls. I'm so excited about this card. I really wanted to put that sentiment that's the one about regifting. May all your regifting go unnoticed this year. I think that sentiment is so funny. Okay, I'm going to press her down for a second. Did you guys see our post? We did our nails the same this time, Jamie and I. I won't lie, it was me. Jamie did hers, and I had picked a different color. And once I saw hers, I was like, oh, I want my nails to look just like yours. So I reneged on my color and went with hers. So our nails are the same. But it's teal and purple, so it kind of goes, it's a little hard to tell in the video, but there's teal and purple in it, so it was so perfect for the show, and they'll be good for the next show too, so. Okay, I'm going to put this little sentiment right here that says Merry Elfin Christmas. I just had a brief moment of thinking I should double check that magnet's still up there in that corner. And it is, so I did good. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I know that this bottom half, this half right here, I'm going to actually mark it with a pen so I don't forget. This half right here is the half that needs to have either the glue adhesive or pop dot or however you're going to put it on the card. I think I'm going to just glue it. So I need it to be this half right here. So I'm going to go just shy of the half mark. The other half won't need it because it has the magnet to hold it. Plus, if you glue the other half, then the card won't open. And we want the card to open. So, here we go. Ready? I'm going to set this down here to hold my corner so I can see what I'm doing. I got my glue on the correct side. Look at that. Did you see that magnet just suck that right over there? I'm moving them around because I haven't decided exactly where I want it to sit yet. I want it to be just a little lower. Trying to make sure I got it all even. Once I have it where I want it to be, I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to press the back where the glue was. I have no idea if this is, you heard it? You heard it go get sucked on there? That's pretty cool. You say your name Mariana? Hi, Mariana. I hope I got that right. So there we go. Look, it's completely closed card. And then you'll just pull it open like that, and then it'll open up like this. So look at that. Isn't that super cute? I think I did mine the opposite of my friend. Nope, I did it exactly the same. Now the other card, when you do the other half of the card, it's going to open a little bit different, I think. But we'll see. Look how cute that is. I know, we're going to do it one more time because we're going to do it for the other elves. So I think I'm trying to decide if I want to put red or green. I think red. I think I'm going to put red. And I think I'm going to put them just all lined up instead of scattered. So I think I'm going to put them, just 3 of them up here in the corner. Like that one. And, oops, I pulled the sticky off of this one, which is kind of a bummer. But thank goodness it goes right back on. Oh, I stuck it on the wrong way. That's all right. I got more. It will never end. I have lots of... So I was going to stick this one here. And then I'm going to put this one here. So just kind of putting them in a row there for a little bit of design. And there we go. Isn't that just the cutest? Oh my gosh, so much fun and so easy. You saw how easy that was to make? If you wanted to, you know, you could do it. You could do it however you want. You can make your own version of it, but this is what I This is what I did. I really like it. I'm super happy with it. I hope you guys like it too. Let's repeat it one more time. The whole process real quick for the other elves. Well, the elf and the deer. Definitely want to do both. You like it? I like it. I'm going to sign it real quick. Oh, my pen's running out. I like it. I like it a lot. So we decorated the inside. This is what the outside looks like. And then bam, it's all stuck together. Super awesome. So let's try it one more time and see if we remember. So if you wanted the measurements to try to do it yourself, now's the time to grab yourself a piece of paper because I will give you the measurements one more time. I only have one more set of magnets, so we can do those again. And this time I think I might try to barely glue the magnets in instead of sticking them, or maybe the red line tape or whatever you call that. So here's what I got. The other half of this card, this is that 8.5 by 11 that we scored at 5.5 and 4 1/4. This is, we used that half, now we're going to use this half. So when you flip this over, or if you were to fold this in, then your card would open the other way, or you can flip it over and have the same thing that we already did. Now, because I left a little smidge, cut it off just a little bit too far here, I'm going to have a little bit of an overlap. So, need to see how that's going to sit before we put the card together. I think it'll be okay. It looks like it's sitting okay. But I'm going to go ahead and burnish the, nope, it's not. It's going to be too, I'm going to need to trim off because I cut that one a little bit too close. So I'm just going to pull my trimmer out. You should cut it in half, but I clearly didn't do all that great in my cut in half session. So, and I'm going to have to really hold on to this because otherwise I might demolish this paper, but it's okay. It's only paper and I have more, so. Unfortunately, when you cut this, it doesn't cut all the way down to the end, so I have to move the paper, which makes it really hard, which is probably why I cut it wrong in the first place. And this didn't cut very well, so I'm just going to snip it exactly where I marked it already with my scissors. I can see where the line is, so I feel confident I can cut it. So I'm just trimming that teeny bit of extra that was causing it to not close correctly. That's why the other one had a little bit of a gap. In the center because I didn't center very well. But that's what happens when you do something for the first time. I'm sure if I had a bunch more, I'd be able to get them all lined up correctly. But you definitely need a bigger trimmer because that surely didn't trim very well. I would have to get my paper trimmer out, the big one. My big, see, that works out perfectly. So if I flip that over, see how it lays flat now? Like the last time, there was a bubble under there. So this one works, this works out great. So I trimmed it, and this one meets up perfectly. So there's no gap, which is great. Then we have this inside paper that is 5 1/4 by 4, or should be anyway. It's a little long, looks like it's a little long. I'm going to double check it right now. 5 1/4 is the way it should be this way. So it's a little bit long here. Sometimes when I cut myself 500 of these, they don't necessarily get cut exactly the way I want. By 4. But that's okay. Sometimes I like to leave them, you know, bigger on the inside, and sometimes I like to trim them up. So I can just do whatever I'm feeling at the moment. This slides in there now and is much better. So there we go. Perfect. So I'm going to take that out because I'm not sure if we're going to decorate that one or not. I took these papers, remember? They were 2 pattern papers that were together, and they were 5.5 by 4 inches. And I cut them so I could use them. You could use them twice. See how this one is opposite now? The Merry Christmas still going the right way. Trees are still going the right way. How many different cutters do I have? You don't want to know. I have the really, really big paper cutter, and then I have the Caterpillar, and then I have the Creative Memories cutter, and I have a small Tim Holtz cutter. I think that's all I have.
We have 2 We Are Memory Keeper cutters.
Oh, that's right. I have two We Are Memory Keeper cutters, and I have 1 Stampin' Up cutter. How many does that make? Like 6? I have a lot of cutters. Just saying. Sorry. I have a lot of cutters. I don't know what to say. It makes me mad when it doesn't cut them smooth, and so I would use it for a while, and then I'd get another one, and then, you know, it just went from there. So when I was doing this card, I wanted different colors because my little guy here is blue and white and green for the tree, and this guy is brown. So I didn't want to do these 2 on this one because I didn't think it looked as good. So I took this paper, this tree paper right here, and I cut it to 5.5, 5.25 this way and 4 this way. So 5.25 by 4. And then I took this paper, which I thought would be super cool, also 5.25 by 4. And I cut that, and I decided that I would do it like this. So now I have 2 extras for another card if I wanted to do another card. And then I decided on the green, like this green glitter paper. Never know when you need a different size. It's so true. So I took this green, it's glitter paper, and I cut it 3.5 by 4.5. So 3.5 by 4.5. And then I took this paper, which is gold. It's like a matte gold. And I cut it 4.25 by 3.25. So it would fit on top of this one. And this is how they're going to go. These are going to go on top of this one. And these are going to go on top of the card. So I went ahead and cut the papers ahead of time so you wouldn't have to sit here and watch me cut. You know, nobody likes to sit around and watch somebody cut paper. But sometimes it's a must. But today, I went ahead and cut it early. Plus, I'm not going to lie, I wanted to test it out, see what it was going to look like, and kind of make sure I was happy with my decision. And so I definitely cut it ahead of time. I want to give a little bit more of a border around this one, so I'm going to cut this paper one more time, just a little bit more. Again, with this trimmer. I'm going to line it up with that second line over there and cut it off. See? Like, it worked perfectly. This trimmer, I like this trimmer, this Creative Memories trimmer, because you can score and trim. You just change this out. So this is the straight cutter, and this is the scoring, and you just pop it in there, and now it's a scoreboard. And then I have all these other, so this cuts Victorian, this perforates, scallop, wave, decal, and stamping. So all these different I like how you can change the blade. So I like to keep that one around. But when I want a really good cut, sometimes that caterpillar is better. Okay. So I trimmed that just a little bit because I had a border here and a border here and not enough border here, which is, you know, the way that I roll. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this one down. I like to use my tweezers so I can hold it still and get it lined up where I want it. I feel good about that. So now I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to use my espresso to spread out the glue underneath it. I'm not doing it on the other side because I don't want it to move around. So I've learned that and do, you like that cutter? It's Creative Memories. It's really neat. And then when it wears down, like you can do several hundreds of cuts on this line, on the first line, which I've done, you can tell because it's kind of worn down. Then you can switch it around and you have a whole nother line that you can cut a whole bunch more. And then you can flip it over and you can cut on this one and this one. So this little thing lasts a long time. And it even counts it for you. Like that's the first time you put it in. That's the second time. Mine's kind of beat down, so I probably should turn it over to number 3. And then number 4, and I have extras here at the house to help with that. But then you got to press it in there. Kind of works really good with my espresso. But then you get fresh cuts all over again, just like you did before. It's like putting a brand new mat in there. I agree, Kim. I feel the same way. I really, you know what I like about the caterpillar though, is that it has this light on it. See, turn this light on and you can really see where the cut line is through the paper. That's what I like when I can't, like when my eyes are tired and I can't line them up. I want to love it, but we kind of have a love-hate relationship. I think so far I loved the Stampin' Up, but the Stampin' Up one, I went through blade after blade after blade after blade, and I just got tired of buying new blades for it, so I went on the hunt for a new one.
Well, the caterpillar is great for cutting patterns.
What do you mean that you do?
With the light.
Dale likes the caterpillar one for cutting patterns when he's working on
I have to join 2 separate pieces.
his stuff. His cosplay, so he really likes that. So this one, again, what we're going to do is we're just going to do like this corner edge and then along this side and this corner edge. My Stampin' Up does not give the best cut. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, exactly. That's the problem for me. But
Hence why you have so many cutters.
the part that I like about this, about the Creative Memories one, is that I have been cutting with the same blade. I've only changed that little matting. And it still cuts as good as it did before. I mean, I really like it. And I can get small, tiny cuts without it moving around. And I really like it. When I'm just doing really small A2 size stuff, though, I love my Tim Holtz cutter. Although I won't lie, just like the Creative Memories one, it's starting to get a little out of shape. And what I mean by that is, here it is. This is it. It's the Tim Holtz one. It's the Tim Holtz tonic one. And I love this one, but it gets stuck up here in the corner sometimes when I'm trying to cut. It never did when I first got it, but now it's starting to get kind of worn, and that sort of wears me out a little bit. But I cut a lot of freaking paper, if you think about it. I cut all the make and take stuff and all, you know, so I'm cutting all the time. So when one makes me mad, I just switch to another one that I have here at the house. I love that Tim Holtz one, and I may have to look into a bigger Tim Holtz one and see what I think. But I wanted to love the Caterpillar because Jamie really, really likes them. I will say I like their scoring sheet, their scoring thing, but yeah, I want to like them more than I do. Jamie says I just need to learn how to cut better with it because there's like a way that you do it that makes it a lot easier. I think I'm just uncoordinated. I just think I'm uncoordinated. So I decided on this green. I know it's a little bit odd, but I like it. I really, really like the way that it looks because you're only going to see about that much of it. And then I'm going to put this little guy on here with this little deer. And I'm going to say, oh dear, Christmas is here. I love it. It's so cute and so easy to make. Okay, so now it's time again for us to do this. Yeah, I know. I know what you mean, Kim. I really do. It cuts the way it's supposed to, but the way it's supposed to might not be our desired cut. When you cut a lot repeatedly over and over and over and over again, it's gotta be good. I wonder if this is, I don't know if this glue is gonna mess up the, I don't know. Let's see how it goes. We never know until we do it. Right? Right? We never know until we do it. I'm going to go ahead and stick this one in here and see if it'll stick. Right now it's moving around like it's nobody's business. But it's slowing it down. Okay, it's starting to slow down. Not moving nearly as much. I just thought it would be easier, less bulky, if I just glued it on there. So let's see if it's, oh, it's holding all right. Okay, so I'm going to put the other side on. I worry about this a little bit because this is glitter, and I don't know if this is going to stick to the glitter or not. So if it doesn't, we can always go back with tape, but for now, let's, oh, I don't want to do that, actually. I'm going to do glue dots on this one, actually, because I'm going to do the sweet pops in there, so I'm going to do glue dots on this side. Whew, that was a close one. Okay, so now I can just put the glue dots on here. I'm going to do 3 of them. You can tell I use a lot of Stampin' Up stuff, but I'm very particular about what I use from them. So my paper is always from them. So this 8.5 by 11 and 12 by 12, this solid color paper. I don't generally buy that anywhere else. Now, we do have, Photo Play has been donating paper for our make and takes. So that has been super sweet of them. And so I've been using some of that paper, but for solid papers, but for solid papers, I really just use Stampin' Up. I'm kind of particular about that. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one on before I decide where I'm going to put everything. I think this is a little bit opposite than the way I did it the last time, but we're going to roll with it. So those are just my opinions. They in no way reflect anything about the companies or anything like that. It's just strictly my opinion from usage. And I have used the heck out of a lot of trimmers, but I'll tell you, I had my Creative Memories guillotine cutter for 15 years before it died. And by died, I mean no matter how much I cut with it, it wouldn't cut a nice straight cut. And it did just what Tim Holtz is doing to me. It would get stuck up in the corner. So, but it took 15 years to do that. This is a little easier than guessing where you're going to put the dots on this one. So probably should have done this the first go round, but that's how we learn. And the Memory Keeper one, I barely ever use that. It's one of those, it was that Memory Keeper one that said it made bows and it did cut your corners and did all kinds of cool stuff. So I bought that thinking that I would not have to carry around my corner rounder and all my other stuff when I traveled. But I got it and opened it up, played with the ribbon bow thing, and then I put it away, and the first time I traveled, the corner rounder punch broke on it. So I was really disappointed. I contacted them and they replaced it. They were super nice about it and they replaced it. However, I'm just not as big a fan of it as I thought I would be.
Your moms do the same thing.
Yep. And then my mom ordered one because she thought it was super cool before I decided I didn't like it all that much. She bought one, got it home, and she called me and was like, "Did you know that my corner rounder broke on it?" And I said, "Oh, you take a picture and contact them and they'll replace it." And they did, and she still uses hers a bit, but it's just not my favorite one at all. It also had a scoreboard on it, so it was score, stamp, cut, corner rounder, bow maker, banner maker. It's supposed to be all of that rolled into one, which is a fabulous idea, but just didn't pan out the way that I would have liked it to. Okay, so here we go. We got to add the top layer on top of here. So I'm going to do that first. Okay, so this is our top layer that we're going to decorate with our little guys that we colored last time we were all together. Oh no, really? Night before last, that's very disappointing. Hello, Barb. It's okay, you're fine, no worries. We haven't even colored yet. We're going to color next. But we're creating this card. It's like an open card, and it's got a magnet on it. This is the second one we've made. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and adhere this one, and then we'll line up where the magnet needs to go underneath this paper in order for it to match up. So what I want to do is set this on here and see exactly, make sure that what I would like to is put the corner here and the corner here and just make sure that it looks like it's about where I want it to be, all lined up the way I want it to be. It looks pretty good. I think I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm going to open this up. I'm going to put my glue on this side of it, the side that I want to adhere. Do not glue the whole thing because then yours won't open. You just want to put glue on this side of it. Try to line up the two edges. So the top one and the bottom one. Make sure that it looks even. It looks like I need to move it just a little bit. Once you feel pretty comfortable with that, we're going to flip it over. And we're going to use the espresso to just make sure the glue gets spread out the way that we need it to. Make sure it's stuck on there really good. Okay. So,
Have you tried adjusting the spring?
what? Have you tried adjusting the spring? No, I have not. I don't know how to do that. This thing? Huh. I didn't even know you could do that. You know what? That might be part of the problem. I'll have to try that. Thank you for that heads up, Kim. I really appreciate that, because if that helps, I'll be so happy. Okay, so what I want to do now is determine, first I'm going to put glue on my magnet, because I'm going to have to put it underneath the thing. So I'm going to put glue on both sides of my magnet because I want it to really stick. Come on, don't be finicky. Do not drop. Do not drop out of my hand. And then what I'm going to do is try to line up where this magnet goes. And believe me, it sucks it right to the paper for you. Exactly where it is. So, I mean, there is a mark on this one. I guess maybe this type of paper might not be the best paper to use for this. But we can cover it up by putting the sentiment over it. And no one would know. No one will know. Okay. So now that we have the magnet where we want the magnet, we have to put the glue inside here so we can adhere it to the card. Remember, we did just one side of it, not both sides of it. So I'm just going to put this glue inside here. You don't need a whole lot of Barely Art glue. It works really, really well. So you don't need a lot. It dries clear if you get it outside of the lines. I'm going to lift this up. And then I'm going to press this down. It's got a magnet in it, so I have to go around the magnet. But I just want to make sure I got that in there where I need it to be and that all the edges are sealed. Okay, so that was easier than I thought it was. And you saw how it popped together? I'm really happy with that. That was a little bit easier the second time around than it was the first time, I think. You guys can tell me what you think, but I think it was easier the second time. I think I might move these guys like this so that I can put this over here. Yes. Whoops, sorry. Slippery little sucker here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. Could have actually popped this up, but oh well. Now it's going to slide around on this paper, so I want to be really careful not to move it around too much. I want to get it exactly where I want it and just press down lightly. Don't have to press really hard. Hi, Tammy. See, I moved it just a little bit. I don't want to move it. I want it to be perfect.
Selena joined too.
Hi, Selena. You like the cards? Or I'll show you the other one in a minute. So I'm just putting it on glue on here, but I'm trying to put it kind of light because I don't want it squishing out the edges. I just don't want it that for this. So I'm not putting it real close to the edge. Just laying it down, giving it a second to adhere, because Barely Art glue gives you a little bit of time to move it around. I don't want to move it around. I want it to stay where it's at. So I'm just pressing with my espresso to make sure I got a good hold on that. And then I'll work on this one. Again, very light amount. You don't need a whole lot. You will want to put a lot, but you don't need a lot. When I'm doing the make and take, I try to tell people you don't need very much glue, and then they put a whole lot of glue on there, and I'm like, I know you want to put that glue on there, and I'm okay with you using the glue. You can use as much as you want, but know that you don't have to have that much. It doesn't take a whole lot of Barely Art glue to hold anything. So we're just making sure this stays stuck. That's what I'm doing right now. And then I'm going to pull out these excess papers that we had, like the little Christmas tree and the stripes. And I think we're going to put something on the inside of the card. I haven't decided what yet. These were all my excess papers. Just checking to see what I like. So I think the trees should be on the inside. So I'm going to lift this up. It's a magnet, so it's going to lift up. I'm going to want to put this card inside, this white one inside, so I can decorate this. Or I can do a stripe going this way. I kind of like that, so I think I'm going to do that. So I just need to trim this down. And this is really just your preference once you get going, which way you want to do it. I know this is the right size because I used it for the front. I'm just going to do 1 inch. See, love my 10 volts trimmer. I'm going to lay that on the side over here. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that down. I hate when you buy one of these and that top glue sticks on your paper. when you tear it off the paper pad. It's very annoying. I try to cut it off most of the time, but sometimes the paper is exactly 6 by 6, so you kind of can't do that. But I was rushing when I cut these, so I didn't have the chance to trim that off before the live. I'm just going to leave a very small, since this is 1 inch and not like a 1/2 inch or whatever. Oops, I'm moving the paper. I'm just going to leave a very small area over here on the side. Like that. And then I'm going to turn it over with my espresso. I'm going to rub it on there. Spread the glue out, make it happy. And then before I put this inside the card, I'm going to go ahead and stamp the back that I made it. This card design was my friend Sandy McFarland's the one that made a card like this for me. And I just looked at it, broke it down a little bit, and then made it for you guys tonight. So not my original design. The design on it is, but the card shape is not I didn't make it up. I got a Christmas card from her. I saved it from last year, and I was like, I'm going to figure out how to make that because it's so super cool. I think people would really like it. So, I'm going to place this inside my card. I have a little bit of time to move it around, so I want to make sure I'm pretty close to where I want it to be. Press it down. Gonna flip it over. Rub it with my espresso. That's the way I like to spread the glue out. Then I'm gonna close it, just like that. So now we have this adorable card that we made tonight. Oh, I think we should put some dots on it. And this one. So we made these 2 cards tonight, totally different papers. You can use whatever papers you want. I used some shiny papers so they're a little reflecting while you're looking at them. But I think on this one, I might use the green dots and maybe Maybe really little ones. Or maybe I should use blue. I don't know. I think red might go with this one as well. But I think I'm going to use these tiny ones instead of the big ones. Very cute. You like them? It's not hard to do. But if you get out there and you want to make them, I gave all the measurements that I used at the beginning of the video, so just watch the replay for that. Just going to put 3 because I like it that way. Odd numbers.
These are snowflakes.
There we go. Super cute and so easy. And these are the new dots from the shop. We did sell out of this particular one, but there's a bunch of other new ones in the shop, and we have some more new ones on the way and replacements for these, because these are amazing for Christmas. Red and green. Woohoo! And these are some of the other colors. So there's some pearls. This one has glitter in it. This is the Halloween one, which is super cool for Halloween. This one is called Cozy Flannel, French Chateau, Cornflower, Snowy Mountain. We have Translucent. I think we sold out of those at the show too, but we have more on the way, so no worries. Glitz and Glam. So that's like a dark gray and a silver. This one is Sailboat. So it's red, white, and blue. This one is Autumn Leaves. So it has very autumn colors. This one is Lighthouse. This one is Precious Metals. This one is all foil, so it's very shiny, just like these, red and green, but it's all colors. So anyway, that's a few of them we have in the shop. Those were the ones I did not have in my stash, so now I do. Because you guys know I have an obsession for enamel dots. So here we go, one more time, and then we're going to color the little reindeer. He won't take that long, and I thought he'd be really super cute. So I hope you guys like them. Remember, we I asked her. I don't remember what she said. I don't remember what she said. I promise I won't forget. I promise, I promise, I promise. I will get back to you. I even told her about it, but I don't remember what we decided. I'm so sorry. You want to make these? I know they're so much fun. Cheryl, I have it written down in our agenda planner, so I know that when... Huh?
Kathy joined.
Hi, Kathy. I know that we'll get back to you on it for sure. Because I track the planner, and then I get with Jamie, and we go over all the details I have in the planner, and that is definitely one of them. Okay. I'm using a scrap paper that I had stamped something else on, so ignore it if I flip it over.
She's talking about the switch.
Oh, yeah. Man, that switch, I thought that was kind of new. Okay. So this is I love this one. Okay, so I drew this little guy. He's so cute. He was so much fun to draw. So I drew this little guy, and I thought, well, we already colored the moose and the lights and all that stuff. So today we'll color this guy, and then we'll give him some kind of background soon. I think maybe we'll try to use the trees. I know there was a DT person who did an amazing job with making trees in the background for this sweet little guy, and we might do something like that, because I just thought it was so awesome. So we may make a background like that. I think we're gonna have to stamp this twice. Every time you stamp your stamp pad for the very first time, it never does exactly right. So we may have to stamp this twice. Those little eyes didn't fill in quite right. After you do it 1 or 2 times, it works great. But it takes a little bit of to get it going. So I'm just going to rub it one more time. Hopefully this will fill in his eyes and make them really black, because I don't like it when they're not black. Otherwise we'll use a multi-liner to correct that. Voila! Okay, there's one little spot, but I'll fix that with the multi-liner. Isn't he just this darlingest little guy? Did I put my... Yes, I did. My chamois away. Because I stamped something else earlier tonight, and then I asked my husband to fill my Tim Holtz water bottle. So I just spray water on my chamois, and I just wipe it off my stamp. I don't use any cleaner or anything like that. I just wipe off my stamp, stick my chamois back in my little case, close it up. It has holes in it so it can breathe. And then I put it away. It dries, and next go round, I get my Tim Holtz thing out. I spray it. I stick this little, see how well it cleaned it? Cleaned it all off. And I didn't have to put any cleaner on it. And then I put this guy back on there where he's supposed to be. He's super fun. And we should use some of these too. This one says, don't moose with me, which is good for this one. This one says, you don't like my Christmas puns? Well, that's Rude-olph. I think that's funny. So I'm going to set that. Oh, I should put it back in that thing. Otherwise, sometimes after these lives, I end up with all my stamp sets all over the place, and then I can't find pieces. So I'll just put that back. All right, so here's our little guy. I will zoom in so you guys can see. One last look we'll do at the end, so you guys can see this one last time. Ooh, they're kind of repelling each other. They're kind of repelling each other a little bit. That's funny. Okay, so now I have all these papers all over my desk, all over my markers down here, so I'm going to have to move them. So I have another set because I was playing before I went live to make sure I could make this card. All right, there's my markers. Okay. So when I colored the package for this one, I colored him, let's see if I colored him light or dark. I like to do them a little different. So I did them pretty dark on the package. So I think we'll go a little bit lighter when we color them this time. Okay, so let's do, I wonder, I wonder how these colors would look with them. So we'll probably cut him out to do a background. So I'm going to use this to test my colors. I think this, it's E77, 74. I kind of like these, but I feel like they need a little bit of 23 with them to kind of bring out that more brown color. Just wanted to drop in and say hi, but at the hospital all day and I'm pooped, so I'll catch the replay. Okay, thank you, Kathy. I hope you're feeling better. Let's see if we should put E25 in here. Let's kind of mix and match them as we go. So maybe we'll do 29 here, and every other one we'll do. We're going to try this combo. I don't know how good it's going to be, but if it's not good, we'll color them again another night. Okay, So we're going to try, I have never tried this combo, so we're going to try it. E29, I'm going to zoom in a minute too. E77, E25, E74, and E23. So we're kind of doing the regular browns with this like cocoa brownish color. So we're going to do that. I want to do his little antlers. I think we're going to use 43. I want to see what E81 looks like. Kind of like that. So 43, 42, and then we'll do E81. We'll do these three. 43, 42, and then E81. That's a little bit different combo than I usually do with that as well. And I think we're going to do his little antlers and under his ears, his tail, and his chest in those colors. We need one for his ears. So I'm going to take, we're going to take R11 to give him some little pink in his ears. And then we're going to do his nose like Rude-olph. So R89, 46, and 24. So I'm going to use these three red ones for his nose. Alrighty, we're moving along. This time, last time I did his little hooves in black, but tonight we're going to do them in a dark, dark, dark brown. So these are the colors we got going on right here. This is going to be E49. It's going to be one part of his hoof. And I think we're going to go with E49, 59, and 27. So it'll remain pretty dark. And I might actually do 27 before 59, but we'll see. Alrighty, so here we go. Are you guys ready? I have not colored him on craft cardstock, and yes, I agree with you. I bet he would be very adorable. I have not colored penciled much at all, but I did do something in my planner when Jamie was here, but I'm just not good at pencil coloring yet, but I'm going to have to do a lot more practicing. I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see real close what we're doing. So now you can see that his eye has that not colored in all the way. So I'm going to go ahead and fix that with this 0.3 multi-liner. So I'm just going to go in there and darken those areas that didn't stamp quite as well. They'll probably stamp a lot better the next time, but whenever it's new, sometimes that happens. So there we go. So that's that fixed. All right, I need a drink before we start. Just soda. No other drinks going on for me. Okay. So you guys know I like to start with the lighter colors first, so the rest of his skin, it will all be last. Well, probably his hooves will be last. But I'm going to go ahead and start with antlers and fur and ears. So we have our E43, 42, E81, and R11. He's so cute. Oh my gosh. Okay. So we're going to start with 43. And I'm going to work on these first. So I like to do the bottom, and then I like to go into the antlers, kind of like a little vein of the antlers. I don't know if they really look like that, but I like to do them that way. mean, I have some antlers out in my living room, so I guess I could go see if that's what they look like, but I'm going to do just the insides of his ears, but I'm going to do this part because I want to put the pink in there, and this is where the darkest part should be, is along here. If we need a darker color, we can pull in E44. And I'm going to do this part of his face a little bit lighter than the rest of his body, but I'm not going to do it this color. So I'm going to do this little tuft of hair right here. And I'm just doing small brush strokes in so it looks a little more furry than, but you know, making these look more realistic is more challenging because he's drawn in more of a cartoonic fashion. So it's not really gonna look all that realistic. So I like to do them like this. Just give him a little bit of a, there we go, see? Nice. I need to do more pencil coloring, but I just haven't had the time. I wish I had. I think I'm going to pull the 44 though, just to give me a little bit of a darker. So I'm just going to do a little bit to darken that up a little bit in the center parts. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. I want to kind of darken some of this up. Not too much of it, just a little bit. So I kind of felt like that other one wasn't quite dark enough compared to what I wanted it to be. So that's why we added a color to it. And notice I'm not going over completely the first color I put in there because I just want to deepen the darkest areas. I am going to put a little bit in here just to deepen that a little bit. You can always change your mind, add more colors, take away colors. It's completely up to you. So now I'm going to jump to the E42. And I'm just going to extend out a little bit from where we stopped with the 43. I'm not going to go over the 44 because I don't think it's necessary at this point. If I feel necessary later, we'll go back and look at it, but I think it's going to be okay like this. Then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to come in a little bit further with this one, and I'm going to go along the bottom. So we got to add the pink in there, which we'll do next. So this is just extending out a little bit further than where we put the original color. Not spending too much time on top of the darkest shade so that it still remains deep and dark. This, I'm barely touching the paper with this because I want to keep it really, really light. I'm going to use the pink before I go in and use the E81. And I'm just going to put this in his ears. We're going to do his nose red, so we don't need to use this color on that. Now we're going to go with E81, and we're going to go over top of where I put that pink in there. It's going to dull the pink, but still leave enough pink that it still looks cute. Can you tell? So when I do the antlers, I'm not going to go over what I already put in there. I'm going to come from the top of the antlers into the color that I already have on there. This is going to blend the ends of the colors, but it's not going to wash out that center part that I put in there. If you go over it and out, you're going to lose some of that definition and have to put it back in there. I don't want to do that. See how that kept the definition? I really like that. So for this part down here, I'm going to do a little bit of this back and forth to fill in that center. I'm doing it very, very lightly. I am not putting a lot of pressure on it. It's really, really light. And again, with the tail, I'm going to come from the tail into the colors I had in there. So I still want it to stay fairly light. Alrighty. So that is where I applied all these light colors. You know, when I use red, I like to use red last. Last. And since the hooves are so dark, it'll be a battle whether it's going to be the nose last or the feet last. But in the meantime, we're going to work on the rest of him. So I want to do this part of his face in a lighter color than the rest of him. So when I do the rest of him, I'm going to do that first, and I'm going to leave this one open because I need to see how these markers play with each other so I can choose which ones I'm going to leave out when I do this part. It's going to be the same colors, it's just going to be less of them. So this is E29. It's the darkest one in my group, so I'm going to go ahead and start with that one. I give him some depth right there. And then, of course, over here where his ear is, on his head, and his antlers. And then I'm going to go to his ears. And I'm just going to put a little bit out here. I am going to extend these so it looks more like fur. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Just kind of putting a little bit of these brush strokes in there and then extending these pointed parts right here. Just so it looks a little bit like fur. Just a little bit. And then I'm going to come down here. And I'm going to work on this part that's right under his chin. And then these deep parts right here and right here. And we're going to do that on both sides. This little guy is so cute. If you wanted to get him, you should do it fast. I know there's limited numbers left right now, so you'd have to wait for the restock if we restock. Not sure if we will, depending on how fast it sells out, but we probably don't want to have them all year because people don't usually buy Christmas stamps during the year. So. Although these could be used for other stamps, I mean on other occasions, not sure how well they'll sell to everyone else. He will probably be restocked, but I can't guarantee when. If you want one, you should grab one now while you can. Okay. I probably should put a little bit back here. Alright. So he's starting to come to life. See, I knew it wouldn't take us too long to do him. And since we did the other cards, I figured it'd be perfect. Okay. So this is E77. So this is going to be a little bit of a different shade of brown. But I like it. I want us to try it, mixing these two together. every other one, so it'll be brown and then it'll switch and then it'll go back to the, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Gonna extend out a little bit from here. These are still pretty dark colors, so I don't really want to use a whole lot of it. I want to keep the same direction, so I'm going to go this way. Same thing with this one. And these ones down here. Notice how it kind of changed his tone to a more chocolate, cocoa-ish, macaroon, chocolate, cocoa, whatever you want to call it. And then this one, which is E25, is going to kind of bring that bright brown back into the color. This is the third one, so it's kind of that true color one. So he's going to have a little bit more of this one. I'll go around his eyes on this one. Keep that depth going there. We are going to have to pick colors for his eyes because we did not pick any colors for his eyes yet. He's looking cute. I'm liking him. Same thing over here. Got a little more body on this side. It's just the angle that he's standing there. I do a little bit up from the bottom, a little bit down from the top on each one of his legs. Up from the bottom, down from the top, up from the bottom, down from the top, up from the bottom. Okay. I think we did not do any here, and I really think we need it. Ooh, you guys are quiet tonight. This one is E74. Again, this is going to kind of change the color. So I'm not going to use a whole lot of this one, but I want to mix these colors together because I kind of think it'll give it a unique look. So I'm leaving some white so that I can use the last color to blend them all together. I thought about leaving this one out when I was doing it, when I was using the last color, but then I changed my mind and decided to leave it in there. I think it really helps give a unique look to it. You love this guy? I love this little guy too. I think he is so adorable. When I drew him, I was like, oh my gosh, he's so stinking cute. I sent him to Jamie and she was like, oh my gosh, I'm in love. I was like, yay. She likes it. I love him. Could you imagine stamping a whole bunch of him, like, and coloring them all? You could do all of them. Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner, Blitzen, and Rude-olph. And you can color them with black noses instead of red noses, so it looks like all the different reindeer. How cute is that? Okay, so this is E23. It's going to be light, but it's going to kind of change that tone. Oh my goodness. The dog's in the house.
Go lay down.
You need to go get his nails clipped tomorrow because he's driving me crazy on that floor. Okay, I am going to go up and down because that needed a little bit more blending, but I like that. I do think this one shows a little darker, so I'm going to try to blend that out just a little bit using this marker. If it doesn't work, we can switch to another, but I think it's working. I'm just going to go over it one more time just to make sure that it blends out the way that I wanted. There we go. I like it. Same thing on this one. I'm kind of going over all of it because I want to blend everything together really well. Looking good. I'm liking the blend. You know, this wouldn't be a half bad. I might change one or two of the colors, but some of these colors would be really good for a skin tone as well. I can see some good quality color in there, but look at how good that looks. I really like those colors together. Okay. So around his face, I think I'm just going to do the last 3 colors. So I'm going to do E25 right here. This is going to keep the color much, much lighter around his face. And I'm going to do some over here and then up under his chin. He looks really funny now, like he got a whole lot of dirt on his face. Or like he has a 5 o'clock shadow. He kind of looks like a 5 o'clock shadow going on there. So basically what I did was I chose a 5 color combo. I did the full skin on all 5 colors. And then I cut down to the last 3 colors, the 3 lighter colors for this part. You'll be able to see the difference in these colors a lot better with this much. Since this is the 3rd one, now he's going to look super funny. Aw, I'm so glad you like him. And then we're going to use 23, which is really going to brighten that up. And we're going to go over the whole thing. It'll still keep the colors very similar. We are going to have to do a little bit of blend work on making sure that we don't have any dark. Like right now you can see a dark line there. But what I want to get is one clean coat on it first. And then we'll work on blending it out. So my suggestion is just going over the area, just the area where the darkest part is. Kind of like we're putting a second layer over the light color to blend that out. So it's kind of the same color as the rest of him, but it's a little bit lighter. And I think maybe if we went to, I hate to use 71 or 21. We can try 21. Thank you, Donna. We can try 21 to lighten it up just a little bit, but we don't want to do these colors too much because they really will push the color around and then you'll be super unhappy with it. But 21 might help a little bit to lighten it up, just a tad. But see how it's starting to wash it out down here? So I'm going to do a little bit of tip to tip on here, 21 and 23, to make sure it doesn't wash it out. I still want it to be a little lighter, but I don't want it to wash out. So there we go. That worked out pretty good. I like it. It's a little bit lighter, not a lot lighter. I'm going to wipe off the tip of my marker since I did the tip to tip. And now we have to do his little hooves and then his nose and then we're done. Okay, so I'm going to put those markers aside. I'm going to pull out the E49 E27 and E59. We're going to use these three. We're going to do his hooves first. So we're going to start with E49. E49 is really, really dark. So I'm going to do that on the sides and along the bottom. Same thing with this one on the sides and along the bottom. These colors are really close and I want to keep them very dark. So this is E27. I'm going to do it along the top and kind of extend out from under here, along the top, extend out the sides. This one, I'm just going to fill it in because it's behind everything. And then the last one is E59. And we're just going to do a little bit of a back and forth, not too much, but it will allow to leave that little bit of lighter area in the center. So there we go. This one might need just a tad bit more. There we go. And then we're going to do, I have a fuzzy on there. Now I'm going to do his nose and his eyes, and we're done. So we're going to do his eyes first because I don't want to touch that red from his nose on anything else. I'm going to use this B37, and I'm going to use this 16 with it. So I'm just going to use two colors. I'm going to use these two colors. So I'm going to put it really dark right up close to his eye and down here. Down here, and then right up close to his eye, and then right here. Doesn't look like you can really see it, but I promise it's there. And then B16. And this is where you have to be really careful because you don't want to extend out too far. So my suggestion is picking a lighter color, having a dark color and a light color. Look how cute he is. Oh my gosh. Okay. And then the last ones, the reds, are 89. I have a dog. I have a Chiweenie. Part Chihuahua, part Dachshund. He's kind of old. He walks slow and he needs his nails clipped. And we just got new flooring in our kitchen, so we didn't know it was going to make so much noise. So we're going to go try to have him like filed and everything tomorrow or soon and see if it helps. So I'm using this R89. When I first start, it's going to look like, oh my gosh, so dark. But it will help blend out with the other colors. So it will look really bright when you're done. He's a sweetheart. He's been around a really long time and moves a little slow. And he always wants to see what Dale's doing in the other room and what I'm doing in this room. So he's running back and forth and back and forth. This is R46. This is my favorite one. It's also the third color in the combination. So I'm going to extend out from where we put the darkest color, and I'm going to go along the top because I kind of want to keep this really light area right there around the tip of his nose. A Chiweenie, that's what he is. He's kind of funny looking actually. He's got that big husky chest look like a Dachshund, but he has itty bitty legs like a Chihuahua. And he has long ears like a Dachshund, but they stand straight up like a Chihuahua. It's crazy. I know. I'm going to go back and forth. And then I'm going to blend just around this area here to get a smooth blend around that nose. And it, oh my gosh, it's so cute. I am going to pull one more marker because I think it's going to be really helpful. So I'm going to pull R22 to give my highlight. So I'm just going to do this same line over and over right on the top here. Just a few times. And it's going to move that color away so you get a little bit of a highlight on the, like a shiny part on his nose. I'm going to do it until I can see it really well. Like you can't really see it. Just go back and forth until it comes out the way I want. If I hold it up, you'll be able to see it. I hope. Well, I don't know why the camera isn't showing it, but we'll do it with a white gel pen then. Let's use the white gel pen. So I always go in and do my eyes with the white gel pen because it just makes them pop. Makes them look a little better. Sometimes I'll put a second dot out there because it just kind of makes it look a little more alive. And then we'll just come in with the gel pen and just make a little mark on his nose like that. Oh my gosh, he's so cute. So there we go. You love the eyes? So cute. So here we go. Here's our little reindeer. Hi, Wendy. So, recap for the night. This is Rude-olph. We colored him up. I will post him on YouTube if I don't get blocked. Lately, they have been flagging my videos. I do not know why, but they take off the download option, which kind of is a bummer because then I can't upload it to YouTube. If they did not do that to this one, I will upload him to YouTube so you can see him. We also made, I'm going to zoom out so you can see. We also made this card. This is our elves we colored last week. It opens up like this. And then you stamp whatever you want. And then this is the other one we made. Same theory, different images on it. A little bit different designing. And there we go. So we made these two cards and we colored this sweet little guy here. And we'll do something with him. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe Thursday. I'm not sure. But I'll definitely be here tomorrow. I'm glad you guys liked it. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'll be back again tomorrow at 9:30 Central Time. Tomorrow's Wednesday, I think. Is tomorrow Wednesday? Yeah. I'll be back tomorrow, Wednesday, same time, 9:30 Central. And I'm sure we'll do some coloring. We'll probably do more coloring or we'll do a background for this guy. I haven't decided. So, we'll see. Something new tomorrow. You guys ready? It's going to be awesome. So tonight we got 2 cards and a Rude-olph. Isn't that the cutest ever? I can't wait. So if you guys try this technique at home, post your cards so everyone can see them. They would love to see them. So share with us. Okay, you guys have a really good evening. I will talk to you tomorrow. Thanks for joining me. Good night.